James, could you tell us a bit about yourself and how you came to write this book on the life of Millicent Bryant?
Well, first of all, Millicent's life was known to me as a great-grandchild. And there were stories in the family about her, that she was Australia's first woman aviator, the first woman to gain a pilot's licence in Australia and the Commonwealth. But it was the rediscovery of a whole collection of letters and writings that got me really interested. I saw that as a writer and teacher and researcher myself, that there was potential here. And as I read them more deeply, I could start to hear her voice emerge from the letters. And I got excited, I got interested, and I could see that here was a fascinating, larger life that was connected. It showed me that she was a pioneer and had an important place in Australian history.
The narrative is written in a unique way, using a style not commonly seen in biographies. Would you like to discuss why you chose to do this?
Sure. Now, this is a biographical work based on extensive research and historical sources. And in this respect, it's no different to the careful recreation that most biographers would undertake. However, I've taken the less usual path of telling Millicent Bryant's life in the form of a story. And this is because I felt that it's helped readers to meet Millicent more easily, and for her voice as it comes through in her writings and her letters to be heard. And using these authentic sources, along with in the second part of the story, taking the cue from Millicent's own desire to write a family saga, I've imagined and sketched out the earlier part of her life in the bush, from a pioneering family, growing up on a property with, in quite sort of difficult circumstances in some cases, but also it was a wonderful freewheeling life, and set the stage for her emergence as she grew up later on. And that comes through to all the way through to her first flight.
Following on that last question, what was it like writing from Millicent's perspective?
It was interesting and important because you need to have that relationship with your subject if you're going to write a biographical work. And I felt that through all my research and my writing and connecting these up with the family stories, that I really began to develop a deep connection with her. And I began to feel more and more confident in this connection. Even though she's a woman and back, almost 100 years, and I was careful in creating this story, but I tried to allow her voice to lead the way.
The first half of the story shows Millicent in her later years, whereas the second half covers Millicent's childhood and young adulthood. Why did you decide to write the story in this order?
This is because people know of Millicent historically as an aviator, but also it's the period that's covered by the letters collection and we know most about. So I decided to start with that right after the tragedy of the Grey Cliff disaster in which Millicent dies. So we come into her life as an aviator, but then we then move into the bigger part of her life in a way that started in the bush, and that in which I've used the imaginative tools, literary tools, to sort of develop a strong picture from authentic sources as fully as I could make it, what her early life was like and why it was interesting and exciting. So that's why I've gone back and then come forward in the second half.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the book?
Look, it's just really exciting for me to have written this account, this biographical work about Millicent's life, because it wasn't there. And this is a lost story. This is almost a lost life in Australian history, and I'm been very excited and pleased to be able to draw out that life.